What's going on, everyone? So Damian Lillard getting traded to the Milwaukee Bucks was an absolute shakeup, right? You have arguably the best player in the league. I still think he is. I know Jokic is absolutely ridiculous, but the impact Giannis has on both sides of the basketball is insane. But nonetheless, he just got the best player he has ever played alongside in Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard solves so many issues that the Milwaukee Bucks have, and Milwaukee is going to be terrifying. They, before Damian Lillard, were still going to be one of, if not the best teams in the entire league again this year. They were still one of the favorites, if not the favorite, to come out of the Eastern Conference. And no one would have been surprised if they won the NBA championship before they got Dame. Now you add Dame, and it makes it that much more likely. They are currently the title favorites. That makes all the sense in the world. They are the favorites by far to come out of the Eastern Conference. Again, makes all the sense in the world. They are going to be very tough for any team to beat, and that includes the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, I do still think that the Lakers have the better overall duo. They're both proven. Dame is a great player, but LeBron James and Anthony Davis are both better than Damian Lillard. Giannis is Giannis, but Anthony Davis, we've seen him when he plays to the level that he can play, is on par and a better versatile offensive player. And so there is that. But then it just comes down to the depth and then the impact and being able to defend, right? Being able to stop. Can you slow down Dame? Can you slow down Giannis? Because, look, they could very well beat you. But then not only do you look at a team like the Milwaukee Bucks, you have, Denver still, right? They're definitely going to be formidable. I do think the loss of Bruce Brown and, I do think that losing Jeff Green, I do think that that's going to have a bit of an impact. I don't think it's something that, it's time to panic for Denver by any stretch of the imagination. But I do think both of those guys are very huge, especially in that Lakers series, that I think that it's you can't say that it's not going to affect them even slightly. But they're still going to be up there as one of the better teams. Look at a team like the Boston Celtics. They just went and got Kristaps Porzingis. Personally, I wasn't sold on that. I've talked about that repeatedly. I think that they're going to miss Marcus Smart a lot more than they realize. I don't think that they needed another, 20, 25 point a game scorer. I think that they just needed to mentally find some toughness and maybe go get some mentally tough guys that could kind of, be some bullies, or go get a guy that could close better down the stretch, whatever. I think Dame, if you wanted to go trade for somebody, you should have gotten Dame, but that's neither here nor there. The point is, you look at all these rosters, a lot of these teams are very good. And that's not even counting the Phoenix Suns, right? Phoenix, on paper, give them the championship now, right? I mean, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, good luck stopping those guys. And then I personally think the trade for Nurk was fantastic because they got rid of the problem before it became a problem. DeAndre Ayton was already complaining about his touches and his participation on the offensive end before they traded Chris Paul for Bradley Beal and before they went and got Kevin Durant. How do you think he's going to feel then? He's also clashed with head coaches. If you remember the Frank Vogel era, we all remember he was a very non-confrontational guy. We saw the reports of him just getting ran over by Westbrook and all these other guys. As soon as Jason Kidd left, we saw him just completely lose the locker room. Because Jason Kidd was the guy that was no nonsense. He was the guy that was like, hey, cut that stuff out. We're not doing that, right? He was the confrontational guy. DeAndre Ayton, he gets to go to a team in Portland. That makes sense for him. He gets to kind of be the guy, or at least one of the two guys, and he can play the game that he wants to play. And for Nurk, I think he has the likelihood of really unlocking the Phoenix Suns, because the one issue that the Phoenix Suns have is the lack of playmaking. Right? I'm not talking about going and scoring buckets. I'm talking about putting everything together and allowing these three you see on screen flow better. Nurk is a very good playmaker, especially out of the post. He's a guy that you can run as like your, poor man Joker, right? You could use him in like a Jokic type role. Again, I'm not saying he is that guy, but you can use him as a guy that you dump the ball down to in the middle and then make him make decisions out of the post. If you put him on an island, he can go get a bucket. Otherwise, you kick it out and you have Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant out on the perimeter. He's also a guy that's not going to demand touches. He's also a guy that's going to be cool with whatever you need him to be. He's going to be a locker room presence. He's a slightly better defender than DeAndre Ayton. I think Nurk is the better fit. I see a lot of people talking about how, Phoenix, why would Phoenix want to get worse? Why would they trade the better player? It's not about talent. If you're watching this video, I'm going to assume you're a Laker fan, right? Every other year, the Lakers have a team that on paper give them the championship. It's not just about putting talent on the basketball court. It's about fit. It's about role. It's about chemistry. It's about so many things other than, we just have a ton of talent. And Nurk is the better fit with more talent. The point of all this is, does the already juggernaut-looking Phoenix Suns, if they're rolling and figuring things out and they're looking good, and you have the Milwaukee Bucks looking like a legit championship, like, I don't know how you're going to beat them type threat, do the Lakers go and get that third star? Does this put the pressure on the Lakers to go get that third star? The Lakers have already been pursuing and trying to go after that third star. The big concern is you don't want to trade depth for a third star. Well, the beauty with the Lakers roster is they can do both. Like, you could trade, worst case scenario, you could trade D'Lo and Rui if you had to with a first round pick and go get another star, and you'd still have 11 deep. You'd be fine, right? You're not going to run 11 guys in the playoffs anyway. And you'd still have all the same size, all the same everything, right? Like, could you go get a DeMar DeRozan if Chicago is falling apart and they're just like, yeah, we're not going to win and we're probably losing DeMar either way? He's the most likely, in my opinion. I think DeMar DeRozan is the most obtainable for the Lakers. Like, I genuinely believe and would not be surprised in the slightest if DeMar DeRozan is a Laker by the trade deadline. But if Dallas starts falling apart, right? If Dallas isn't winning and they just, it's looking like they're going to be another play-in team, which I truly believe they will be. Again, you look at the Western Conference. Who is Dallas better than? Like, I can easily name 6 teams that are better than the Dallas Mavericks, so that would make them at best the 7th seed. And if they're the 7th seed again, guess what? They're fighting for a play-in. Is that something that Luka's going to be happy with? Is that something that they're going to be happy with signing Kyrie? I mean, you have the Nuggets, the Kings, the Suns, the Clippers, the Warriors, the Lakers. That's 6 teams right there. I didn't mention the Grizzlies because we're going to have to see, like, how do they hold up before Ja? And then when he does return, does it take him like 20 games to get his legs under him? Because it's not only that he can't play in NBA games, he can't even use the training facilities or anything. I'm sure he's working out on his own, but it's not the same thing as actually getting reps and running in practice and all that stuff. So does it take him 20 games to figure it out? I still think the Grizzlies will probably be better than the Dallas Mavericks. And that's not counting the Timberwolves. That's not counting the Pelicans, who, when they were healthy, were the number 1 seed and had the best metrics of any team in the league. And that's not counting the Thunder, who now have Chet Holmgren. I wouldn't be shocked if Dallas is the 11th seed again. I don't think that'll be the case, but I don't think they're going to be better than like the 7th or 8th seed. I don't. So if that ends up happening, does Kyrie become available? And if you're the Lakers, you could do something like a D'Lo and, a Max Christie or something like that, and a first round pick, and go get Kyrie Irving. Even if you had to give up and you had to do something like a D'Lo Rui first for like Kyrie, and then whoever else, right? Seth or whatever, right? Like, even if you have to do that, I think you do it, right? Like, if you can, because the biggest problem has been you don't want to get a third star and lose all your depth, right? That's the last thing the Lakers want. Like, the Lakers are still currently the deepest team in the league. I still fully believe that the Lakers could win the NBA championship this year. I still believe that they're going to be one of, if not the best teams in the entire league this year. Like, I don't think that that's changed in the slightest, personally. So I don't think I think it's, to me, it's kind of a let's wait and see. Right? Like, to me, it's like, okay, are Are we like the 3rd seed and every time we play the Bucks and the Suns, we just get ran through, right? Like we're beating the Nuggets, we're beating everybody, but like we just can't seem to beat the Phoenix Suns and we just can't seem to beat the Milwaukee Bucks. And you come the trade deadline, because they played the Phoenix Suns like 3 times before the trade deadline. Or they might play them all 4 times before the trade deadline. I know that because they play them early in the season. All that. Like, what if the Lakers lose 3 straight times against the Phoenix Suns and they just don't have enough firepower? Do they go and say, okay, like, we need to go get that firepower? I don't think that's the unlikely. Especially with the Lakers, that's just what they like to do, right? Because Kyrie is only making $37 million, right? So, again, you could trade Rui and D'Lo and go get Kyrie Irving. And now you have Kyrie for the remainder of this year, next year, and then he has a player option in 2025, 2026, which I imagine he opts into because it's for $42 million. And I don't think he's going to get more than that anywhere else, right? And then he could be a free agent, and if it works, you keep him. If it doesn't, you let him go because LeBron will probably be gone by that point too. I wouldn't be shocked if Damian Lillard going to the Milwaukee Bucks makes the Lakers go, you know what? We may need to go get that 3rd star. Again, I don't necessarily think that they're thinking that right now. Right? I don't think that that's an idea that's in their head right this second. Like, if you could talk to Rob Pelinka right now, I don't think he's like, no, like that's not, I'm pretty confident he'd be like, nah, it's not a thought. Obviously, if we can get somebody and it makes sense, then we will, right? Because Rob Pelinka, I mean, if he could get Kyrie for a bag of peanuts, then he's going to go get Kyrie for a bag of peanuts. Regardless, whether we think we need him or not. Just because it makes sense. If you could swap D'Lo for Kyrie, of course you are, right? And it would suck to lose Rui, but who's beating Kyrie, LeBron, Anthony Davis, Christian Wood, Jackson Hayes, Taurean Prince, Cam Reddish, Austin Reeves? Like, you're not. The Suns, because at that point you have enough firepower. Like, and at that point you have the closer, you have everything. Right? Kyrie would solve all your issues. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? Do you agree with my points? Disagree with my points? Are you somewhere in between? Whatever it is.